In sports today, loyalty feels, well, pretty rare, right? Players are always chasing the next big contract, a better opportunity. The whole idea of a one-club legend almost feels like a thing of the past. But for over 2 decades, one player became the living definition of it, a symbol for a single team and the cornerstone of an era of just unbelievable success. This is the story of Ryan Giggs.
Okay, let's start with a number, 963. Just think about that for a second. That is the staggering number of times Ryan Giggs put on a Manchester United shirt and played a competitive match. It's a club record, by the way, beating out the legendary Sir Bobby Charlton. It's a number that just screams consistency, fitness, and pure dedication for more than 20 years at the very top of the game.
And then there's this number, 34. 34 major trophies. That makes him the most decorated player in the entire history of English football. We're talking Premier League titles, the Champions League, you name it, he won it. And he did it all with just one team. Absolutely incredible.
Maybe the best way to understand the kind of talent we're talking about comes from the man who shaped his entire career, the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson. He said he looked like a cocker spaniel chasing a piece of silver paper in the wind. It just perfectly captures that raw, almost effortless magic Giggs had. He wasn't just another talented kid. He was a phenomenon right from the start.
So, how did this all happen? How does a young Welsh player, who actually started out at their biggest rivals, Manchester City, become one of the all-time greats for Manchester United? Let's dive into that story.
When Giggs first broke into the first team, the impact was just electric. He was this incredibly fast, tricky winger who could just glide past defenders like they weren't even there. He was so good, he was immediately getting compared to the club's ultimate legend, George Best. Every single time he got the ball, the entire stadium just held its breath, expecting something amazing to happen. And his rise was just unbelievably fast. You could see it right here. He gets poached from their city rivals on his 14th birthday. Just a few years later, boom, he's making his first-team debut at only 17. By 1993, he's already got his first trophy, and he's made history as the first player ever to win the PFA Young Player of the Year award 2 years in a row. He wasn't just a promising prospect, he was already one of the best.
But here's the thing, Giggs wasn't doing this all on his own. He was actually the trailblazer, the first of a golden generation of players who all came up from the youth academy and would go on to build a true footballing dynasty.
And this is the group. You've almost certainly heard the name, the Class of '92. These 6 guys formed the absolute core of Manchester United's dominance for more than a decade. They all grew up together in the youth system, and they completely redefined what a homegrown group of players could achieve.
Okay, so the absolute high point of this whole era, it's gotta be the historic 1999 season. That's when United won an unprecedented treble, the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. And that incredible, historic achievement was really kicked into gear by one moment of pure, unforgettable magic from Ryan Giggs.
Okay, picture this. It's the FA Cup semi-final against their arch-rivals, Arsenal. United are down to 10 men. It's extra time. Things are looking pretty bleak. A stray pass comes to Giggs deep in his own half, and then he just runs and runs, weaving past some of the best defenders in the world before smashing the ball into the roof of the net. It's still talked about as one of the greatest goals ever scored.
That goal, it wasn't just a goal. It was like a lightning bolt that surged through the whole team. It completely crushed Arsenal's spirit, and it's widely seen as the moment that made United truly believe they could achieve the impossible. It wasn't just a moment of brilliance. It was a statement that defined an entire season.
So, that kind of explosive pace, it doesn't last forever, right? So how on earth did Giggs manage to keep playing at the absolute highest level until he was 40 years old? Well, the answer is all about his incredible football intelligence and his ability to completely reinvent himself.
It's really like he had 2 careers in one. In the 90s, he was that explosive winger who just terrified defenders. But as he got older and that pace naturally faded a bit, he transformed himself into this calm, composed central midfielder. He started using his experience and his vision to control the entire game from the middle of the park, and that's how he stayed absolutely essential to the team well into his late 30s. So after nearly 30 years at the club, the end of his playing days meant a new chapter, coaching. And well, that transition from being on the pitch to being in the dugout, it wasn't exactly smooth.
You can really see the difference in his own words. Under manager David Moyes, he described his role as a player coach as difficult. He was still one of the guys in the dressing room, and he admitted he didn't take a single training session. But then, under Louis van Gaal, things changed. He called it his first proper coaching role,
where he really learned about tactics and systems, an experience he said was really good.
So when you pull back and just look at the whole picture, the numbers really do tell a story of a career that's, well, it's truly one of a kind. It's something we are probably never going to see again.
I mean, just let these sink in for a second. 13 Premier League titles. That's more than any other player. He's the only player to score a goal in 21 straight Premier League seasons. We already talked about his record 963 appearances. He has the most assists in league history. And maybe the most incredible stat of all, in all those games, he never once got a red card. Not one. That just speaks volumes about his character and his discipline.
So, a 29-year journey, all at one club. From a teenage phenomenon to a respected veteran, his career was just packed with trophies, records, and these unforgettable moments. It's really a monument to loyalty, to the ability to adapt, and to just sustained, ridiculous excellence. And it leaves you with a big question for the modern game. In an era where players move around all the time, will we ever see its like again?